Aloha.
Aloha.
I am Kristara Lakshmi-Dittan.
And I'm Michael Ditton.
And we are Infinite.
Activation. And apparently the little round wheel caught us a little off guard. So, aloha.
Yeah, aloha. It's a beautiful day here in San Diego. The sun is about to come out.
Yes, and we've got
getting warmer.
Yes, and we have a couple of really nice days coming up for our Sunday, which is our day off.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too. Today, we would like to talk about how and why is it important to have infrastructure in your life.
Yeah, well, infrastructure is a good thing. It's kind of
Yeah.
like the road that takes you where you need to go.
Yeah. So imagine your life when you wake up and everything is basically working like an oiled machine. You know, you have people who help you, you have systems which are built in a way which actually serve you, and it's like this really amazing journey every day because you have all this infrastructure there in place to support you and your mission and whatever it is you are creating and doing. The matter of the fact is that very many people have no idea what infrastructure is and why it is important to have it. And today in this video we will kind of dive into this topic very shortly, so you can kind of give it yourself some thoughts. And Michael, you gave me that inspiration also with this, so you are now diving deeper into real estate, and you sometimes see, also when deal comes to your table that, oh, here these people are probably selling this because they basically didn't have a proper infrastructure to make this property, earn them profits or continue to serve them.
Well, it's certainly some of the situations, not all the situations. Some people are just moving on to bigger and better. Some are moving on and retiring. But we often see, for example, if somebody takes on a project and they don't have enough capital at the beginning of the project, they're always chasing their tail. So what that means is they can never get ahead. So they think they're ahead, and all of a sudden something happens, and they're back at the beginning again. Whereas if you identify a property or a project or a situation and you have a proper plan in place and you prepare for that, and in this case what we're talking about is having the capital to do specific things, regardless of what happens in the future, you're starting off ahead of the game instead of flush or behind the game. So we do often see a lot of people that are not where they want to be because they didn't plan properly at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And this is like a bigger scale of infrastructure, but in general, if you take just your life, how you do things and how you operate and so on. So your infrastructure is basically, very basic things. When do you sleep? What do you eat? What do you, do with your time? And then how you can, choose those infrastructural things so that they can support you in so many ways and in a holistic way, so that you can actually, serve people and do what you are here to do. So that's like on a very basic level. But then it comes to the next, and maybe also one of the most important levels is, why are you here? Your mission, And so many people, when they come to us as well, they sometimes like, hey, Krista, I have this idea. I want to do this big retreat center. I want to change the world. I want to become the influencer #1 in the world. And then we start to like dig into it, and they don't even have the basic infrastructure to take care of themselves in place. So you can't even talk about, their mission infrastructure, because it's not going to happen before the basic is in place.
Yeah, so infrastructure is a plan, and a proper plan will get you from point A to point Z. You can call it whatever you want. I mean, in sports, you get a number of players on the field, and they have a game plan or a play plan, and they don't just go out and run around on the field with no idea of what they're doing. They have a dedicated idea of what they're doing. Now they also have a backup plan in case, that one receiver's not open or what have you, but they don't just go out aimlessly. If they did, they would probably not win the game. So, whatever you want to call it, a plan, infrastructure, what have you, you have to have that in place. And as Crystal said, you need to start at the beginning, not at the end. And if you don't have a plan for yourself, that foundation, then it's hard to help anybody else. And Crystal and I, we've talked about this over and over and over again. Even in our plan, when we first met, we realized that individually we had to have a solid platform for our individual selves before we could build a solid together self. And so just knowing that is the first step. Doing and taking action on it is the second step. Once you get that, then you can go to the next step. So it's all part of the infrastructure or plan. And if you're not aware of what it is, you just kind of need to sit back and evaluate what it is you want and how you're going to get there and what steps you're going to take.
Yeah, so let's just take a very simple example, like when an architect sits down and starts to draw, all the structure and graphics of the new house or building. So it's also, this person needs to know also why it's done, like what's the purpose of the house, where is it built, also like climate wise, like if it's built into the tropics, like you have lots of heat, so you have to figure out like, okay, it probably has to have a good air conditioning or some kind of like airflow going through the house, like where is the wind blowing, if I open the window here and here, is there like a blow through, stuff like that. And then also, you once you start, once the plan is ready, you can't start to build the house from the roof and then go down. I mean, probably nowadays you can, but I mean it's gonna be probably lots more like challenging. So, and then once you have the plan, you start to you have to have constructor workers, and you have to have all these elements. That's also infrastructure. So different people with different talents and different skills who come together. You have to have an electrician who puts all the systems together,
Plumbers and everything.
plumbers.
And
Yeah,
actually,
so
your analogy I like even better because realistically, with any building, and you take the environmental, but you also take the structure of the ground underneath it. Is it soil? Is it soft? Is it hard? Is it rock? Um, that's a factor. And then what are you putting on that foundation that's in that? So you have to factor in everything below it and everything above it. And what you don't want to do is build a two-story house on a foundation that's only designed for a single story, because you're going to not have a good solid foundation. So that's the moral of the story here, is you have to know what your end result is, or at least have an end result in work, to know what foundation you need to build so you can build that proper foundation and have a solid structure above it. So that, I like that analogy really well. Good job.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just finished my 6 month coaching with Rebecca Massoud, and I'm very grateful for that journey. And one of the last things we did, we actually were kind of zooming out with all of my things and trying to figure out like what my main like cornerstones or pillars of my infrastructure will be. And there are lots of things which I already do, like coaching one-to-one and group coaching, and now there will be also WildFit connected to it, and also then all the other things like YouTube and social media, Facebook. There will be books, retreats and so on. And those things, it's even if they are not active all the time, it's like kind of in a house. You have some rooms you maybe use less than others, and then there are times where you use them more. Like for example, if you have a guest room and then you have guests coming over, then you use it fully, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so that's like normal too. You don't need to use all of it all the time, but it's very important to have the clarity, what are those pillars or cornerstones, and then start also work on it, and also give energy and nurture it according to your goals. So this is what I'm doing now, like understanding like, okay, this is where I am, and this is how I'm gonna like consciously put more effort and put more energy, and also put just nurture it more consciously. So your home assignment today is basically like, first of all, think about those basic foundational infrastructure in your life. Just take body, mind, spirit. So do you sleep enough? Is there anything you can change there? What is it you eat? How do you eat? Like, is this like nutritionally really good for you? Do you drink enough water? Do you breathe well? Do you rest? All of those things which are really essential. Do you shower? Who knows? With COVID, like you don't need to go out. Maybe you don't shower anymore. Do you brush your teeth? So elemental things. And then the second thing is, I just listened to a really beautiful TED talk with Mel Robbins. And she was reminding us that we are here because each one of us, we have the body, because that's the chance of 1 in 400 trillion. Can you imagine? Like, just being here in this body is such a jackpot. So please don't waste it. Like, figure out what's your why. And we have so many other videos and Facebook lives and stuff on our channels and everywhere. So look at our stuff and find other people to guide you. It's so important. Some real key things, very simple things, are if you do something and you lose track of time, that's one of the indicators. And everything you do, which kind of comes like effortlessly. Like when we take my writing, Michael says, okay, write me an article. And like, an hour later, there is like 5,000 words.
She's good at it.
And I don't even like have to like push it, and it's so natural. It is obviously a talent, And then I tell Michael, like, okay, now we need a budget for this project. And then he sits down and like less than an hour, he has all the numbers, profit, like everything like figured out. So
I like numbers.
And that's also the thing, I don't need to be completely like 100% having that talent what Michael has, because that's his, thing. So I can craft and nurture my writing, or, like podcast and stuff as well. So I can put my energy there, and then it will grow. So, and then together we can see like how can we both support our future or our current projects, so that both of these elements can help to support that infrastructure in a bigger scale.
Yeah, so if you have a partner, whether it's a life partner or a business partner, you can complement each other with your different talents in that. If you're doing this alone and you're strong in one area and you're weak in another area, that doesn't have to be a problem, because there's enough people out there that you can partner with that can help you. So if your gift isn't writing, like Crystal loves to write, then find somebody to make a part of your team, or a virtual assistant or somebody else to do that for you. So don't stress over that. There's lots of opportunities. Do what you're really good at and shine at that, and ask for help, or find a team, or create a team, or find a partner that can help you within those areas. And then you'll become more solid and create an even better foundation for your growth, and you'll be able to level up.
Yeah. And so if you really don't know yet what those things could be, like your talents and stuff, so it's time to explore. You just have to take time to explore. And what that means is like you see like a local, someone is doing like a local workshop about something, and it just sounds like intriguing or
Go
interesting. Yeah, go and check it out. And even if it's not your thing, you have explored yourself, and you can like
check it off.
Yeah, check it off from your list.
Yeah.
And then also,
and I guarantee you'll learn something from it, even if it's not the direction you want to go. I can't tell you, it doesn't matter how bad something has been, I've always learned something from it. So go experience it.
Yeah. And then imagine like once you start to build your infrastructure also team wise, when you find those people who are doing what they love, think of the energy your team will have when you have those people surrounding you. Like right now we have this really beautiful lady Kart in Estonia who's helping us a lot with the Estonia business, and we just had this big anniversary event where we had quite a number of people live, and I had also 5 speakers I had to host and so on. And she did a beautiful work just being there supporting and making my work so much easier. And she was so grateful also in the end, like, oh my God, thank you for the experience, you know. And who knows, maybe it's something, you know, she can do on a bigger scale also after that. So I gave the opportunity for her to be there to support us, at the same time also explore her own abilities and talents. So that's also a beautiful gift if you can do that and support someone else to find their talents.
Yeah, it's a win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah. So there is quite a bit of material for your thoughts, so put it into action. So figure out your infrastructure on a basic level, then also on a bigger level, you know, why are you here, your talents and skills. 1 into 400 trillion, it's, you know, it's just not like that. It's just like there is a meaning why you are here. So use it wisely. So
until then.
Yeah. So lots of aloha. Please keep yourself safe. And if you have questions, ideas, comments, please post them underneath this video. And as always, please also subscribe. For there is many more coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Aloha.
Aloha.